What is going on, garden fans? Welcome back to the Permaculture Homestead. In today's video, I wanted to talk about a few things. One, what I'm growing in my greenhouse right now in the winter 2021, Zone 8, South Carolina. I want to show you what seeds I use, the seed company I pick, and why I use them. And then I'm going to show you how I plant those seeds to ultimately get what I got growing on in the greenhouse right now. Now, if you're not already, please tap that subscribe button. That's what really helps us out. I promise every time I say it, we get a boost in subscribership. Help us reach critical mass here. Let's get the word of permaculture out. Suburban permaculture. Also, if you could, give this video a thumbs up right now. Go ahead, tap that like button. That also helps boost us up in the algorithmic YouTube world we live in right now. And if you could, please also tap that notification bell to let you know when I'm putting videos out. I promise I'm not going to bug you. I'm generally putting out one video a week anyway. Now, without further ado, come on back. Enjoy the journey. Okay, first off, I want to talk about the seed company that I use. Now, this is not a paid endorsement whatsoever. I've been using this seed company for over 6 years. I've had always a very good germination rate. That seed company is Botanical Interests. Now, there's a lot of reasons why I like Botanical Interests. Their seed packets alone are slam-packed with information. They have growing guides on here. And if you open up the package really nicely, they give you a little picture of the plant you're going to be growing. They give you recipes for the plant you're growing. And really, just all types of growing information is jam-packed onto a really small piece of paper with a lot of high-quality seeds in here. Another thing that I really like about them is this right here. That non-GMO label. That open-pollinated and untreated label is what really makes my heart happy. Now, I want a quick sidebar here, and I want to talk about genetic modification and genetic manipulation, because those two words are not quite synonymous. Now, when I say genetic manipulation, you're probably thinking a scientist somewhere in a lab inserting genes into plants, and that's exactly right. Now, we as gardeners, though, we all partake in genetic modification. And the quick example I'm going to give is if you've ever grown zucchini and squash together, and they've cross-pollinated, and you've tried to grow the seeds, well, you're going to get a different plant. The thing about Botanical Interests, these are heirloom seeds. These plants are not cross-pollinated with anything different but a parent. Once again, this is as close to heirloom planting as I'm going to get. It's as close to that scientific name, Pisum stativum, that I'm going to get. This is not crossed with anything else. This is basically a little vault of genetic information. Now, genetic manipulation, what we do with GM corn, is scientist in a lab inserts genes, whether it be DNA or RNA, into a plant, and that plant then expresses those genes, whether it's BT, pest control, or some sort of disease tolerance. Now, I'm saying all this, and maybe in your mind, you're kind of thinking of some things that people have been talking about out there lately. Putting genes inside of our bodies to make us express things that maybe we wouldn't have otherwise. I know that we don't want to say it out loud, but that is, by definition, genetic manipulation. And we should all be very cautious about where we're treading and very aware of where we're going right now as a human race. I want you all to know I am non-GMO human being. I am not genetically manipulated or modified, and I don't plan on ever being genetically manipulated or modified. Just like these seeds, I want to be as close to human as I can possibly be. Now, come on over. Let me show you how I grow these seeds and then what they turn into. Now, I know everybody's absolutely particular and different when it comes to seed starting. This is not a definitive guide. This is just what I do every year to kind of get things growing. Now, me personally, I'm a lazy man gardening. I want to do as little work as possible, the least amount of maintenance possible. When I plant seeds into these cells, they generally stay in these cells until they're ready to go out into the garden. This just kind of reduces my risk of any transplant shock at all. Now, the seed mix, the seed starting mix I'm using here is just a compost and chicken manure that I've been working on here in the backyard. It's as close to the natural native soil that these plants are going to get. So once again, just kind of decreasing the risk of any kind of shock when it comes to transplantation. When I seed things, just follow the directions on the seed packet. I'm doing some chamomile here. I typically like the overseeding method when it comes to chamomile. I'm just going to sprinkle a whole bunch of seeds on the surface and press them in. And that's how I'm going to plan out the rest of what I got. I've got parsley, kale, collards to get to. Let me do that, and let's go see what happens afterwards. Once I've got everything all seeded up, garden fans, those trays go into a pretty common greenhouse. I've been using this tiny plastic greenhouse for over 6 years now. It's just now starting to show some wear. The plastic's starting to rip, but it's still good for what it's worth. I only use it for a month or two throughout the whole year. Trays sit in here generally until springtime for us. I'll direct sow all of these cells into the yard. With the overseeding method, you can see we got chamomile coming up pretty thickly and densely, and that's about all I got right now, 2 weeks later. No parsley, no kale, no collards, no arugula, but as this greenhouse warms up in the next couple weeks, those things are certainly going to start jumping to life. Also in here I've got green tea, Camellia sinensis, and then 3 pots filled with cut and come again greens that have basically just been seeded out. So this is how I start my spring. If you got any questions or comments, please just leave them below. Let me know if you enjoyed the video. We appreciate you all watching this Sunday short. As always, please give this video a thumbs up. That's what really helps us out. We appreciate your support. God bless.